Hello, everybody. This is Rabbi Stephen. This week we have a very special Purim service that we're doing for Shabbat, so there won't be a sermon. So, just wanted to give you one of my older sermons, kind of retread it a little bit, and see how you think about it. See what you think. So, there is an old saying about a relationship between a messenger and a message. Hashem shows us things sometimes in very interesting and unusual ways, sometimes where we least expect it. Nevertheless, growth is growth, and it can be very important to pay attention. So, having said that, I feel like I got a message very recently. It came from a very unexpected source, but seemed to be confirmed by some more familiar personages. So, as a clergy, it's my responsibility to minister to not just our congregation, but also the Jewish and even the general community at large. It's necessary then to not just try to make sense of things that happen to us, sometimes very horrific things, in fact, but make sense of them in terms of our Jewish principles. It kind of gives us a little bit of a framework which to understand things that happen in the world. In short, it is more helpful and efficacious to spend more time on the solution rather than the problem. So we've had some very terrible incidences recently, so let's talk about how we can deal with them. Let us presume for the moment that people act in extreme ways because they're desperate. They've reached the end of their rope, so to speak, and just see no other way. Ours is to see that other way. Our holy scriptures and documents are full of uplifting, fulfilling, and positive solutions. Probably the most important and well-known is to love our neighbor as ourselves. This can probably be interpreted in a very number of ways, but let us suppose that there are people you just don't want to love no matter what's at stake. We all know people like that, right? Okay, but then at least respect them. You may not want to invite certain people for tea, but understand that they have hopes and dreams just like you do, and they're entitled to them. In business dealings, then, it's important to be honest and straightforward. We live by mitzvah. That's what guides our lives. First and foremost, we believe that the highest form of charity is helping someone become financially self-sufficient. And this means it is actually a good deed to do business with them. In short, we were doing Small Business Saturday, although not on a Saturday, other days, long before some of the larger corporations got into the act. But we also don't put a stumbling block in front of the blind. Besides the obvious meaning, we also don't take advantage of someone's lack of experience or knowledge doing a business deal, or the fact that they don't have all the facts and, let the buyer beware. That is definitely not a Jewish concept. Finally, we use accurate weights and measures and don't try to fool people or trick them so we can make more money than we're entitled to. In our social interactions, we also want to be kind to the stranger because we were once strangers in a strange land. The Torah commands us to help the widow, orphan, and proselyte, people that are the most vulnerable in society. We also help someone in need, someone whose beast of burden, for example, has fallen by the road, whether or not we like that person or not. It's a commandment, and we do it, regardless. So it starts with just one person. The way to make a forest greener and more beautiful is to nurture the individual trees. If we would all start doing that, maybe people who are desperate might consider more productive ways to resolve their issues, seeing a more friendly and positive